Hi everybody, welcome back to One Good Scare Show. Well, kind of live-ish. We'll
Too
say
many words in there,
live-ish.
Pete.
Too many
One
words.
good
Yeah,
scare show
live-ish.
live.
One Good Scare Show
One good
live.
scare.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm currently overseas, so we're recording this. But we're going to cover all of our usual stuff. So all the latest horror news, comic book reviews, toys, and film trailers. So, Mr.
Show
Keegan,
must go on, Pete. Of
the
course.
show must
Even
go on.
though
The show
you're
must go
sipping
on.
pina coladas on a fucking
Feeling
mega
like
cruiser
pina
right now.
coladas. I like it. I do like a pina colada. I like a pina.
Same, it's my favorite.
Yeah, I'll be thinking of you, obviously, when I'm,
course.
when I'm pissed as a fart. Anyway, Mr. Keegan, how are you?
I'm very good. It feels like it's been ages since we've done this, because I think it has been ages since we've done this. So we need to start doing this more frequently. But there's plenty of news that is newsworthy that I'm very excited to talk about. And we've seen a few things, so that'll be a fun discussion as well.
Well, let's crack straight on, shall we? Let's get stuck into some of that sexy news that you were talking about. Before we do that, just welcome to anybody that is watching. Drop a note in the chat so we know you're here. Fuzzy, I'm sure you'll be watching. Thank you very much. And Terry, no doubt. But anybody else, please do make sure you get your shout out in the comments so we know that you are there and watching. First bit of news. Oh, look at that sexy Ash. First bit of news. This is a little bit sad.
I think on a downer. So I was honestly gutted to see this yesterday morning when I woke up. But Charles Cyphers, best known as Chef Brackett from Halloween, has passed away at the age of, I believe, 85. You'll recognize him, I mean, from our logo. Like the name of the channel is from his line in Halloween, everyone's entitled to one good scare. That's the outro for the thing. There's a sample of him saying that line in Halloween Kills in our intro animation as well. So like I'm really good. I really would have loved to have met him and said, hey man, you kind of inspired us to do this thing. So yeah, just like a horror legend, I think his impact on it, like, it's such a small role but so iconic. He's not going to be forgotten, I don't think. Like,
absolutely very sad, but 80 odd, that's a good life.
age to live to, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good life. Yeah. And he made a hell of an impact as well. Some great movies out there. So yes. Okay.
Now onto some groovy news. Evil Dead is getting an animated series, Peter. So this comes from Bruce Campbell. I am very excited about this. I think this could be really cool.
Yeah. This came a little bit left field to me. I wasn't expecting this in any way, shape or form. But you know what? When you send these images over, first of all, Statue of Liberty is a deadite. It is tremendous. But first of all, when you sent this image over, I thought, you know what it is? I don't know how I don't know how you feel, James, but watching some of my heroes come back into movies and things like that. We've just had Deadpool, and there are some, no spoilers, but there are some older characters come back and they look their age a little bit. Whereas, doing an animated feature where you've got the voiceover still has that nostalgia kind of push for us without us looking at it thinking, oh, come on, Bruce, you're pushing up.
That's exactly why I'm excited. I think it's for me, like, in the history of the Evil Dead series, I think it's a tragedy there wasn't like a 1996, 1997 kind of era one. So to have Ash, like, my assumption is that this is going to be a younger Ash in it, and you have a chance to kind of fill in that gap in his story, or all of the Evil Dead stuff is almost kind of, it's all in a different universe anyway, so do whatever you want with it. But I think, like, it allows them to kind of do whatever they want, animation. I know, like, you can't have a big battle every episode because you have to animate so much stuff or whatever, but like the scope of this can be a lot bigger than they've had with like Ash versus Evil Dead, for example. So I think that's really cool. I also think if we're ever going to get like a Freddy versus Ash thing or a Jason versus Ash thing or some horror crossover stuff, this would be a really great outlet for that too. We have like Batman versus Ninja Turtles, stuff like that in like animated form over at DC and stuff. So I think that's potentially something that could be incorporated into this. So that would be really exciting as well. So I as soon as I heard the news, I was like, great, that's fantastic. I'm really excited for that. And it's cool. It's a cool new animated show. Do what you want. Make it super gory. Sounds like fun.
And is this an image from the kind of the art style?
No, this is just from a comic
or something.
book.
Oh, okay.
I think it's from Ash versus Freddy vs. Jason, I think.
Very cool. And I'm a big fan of the chin, so very happy to hear his dulcet tones in anything that he does, really.
Groovy.
What's this? What's this?
I've talked a bit before about this video game, so Until Dawn. The movie adaptation was announced a while ago. It started filming now. And Peter Stormare, are you familiar with
him.
Peter Stormare? He's sort of I can't remember the character's name. Dr. Hill, I think is his name, but he's like a psychologist character that like you don't see who he's talking to, but it's sort of like you answer psychological questions and it kind of influences how certain things show up in the game. Like you say you're afraid of this thing, that might be incorporated later on. So it's a cool kind of segment he's a cool character. So he's reprising his role in the movie. So I think that's really cool. I'm wondering how they're going to do that, if maybe like you might have different versions in cinemas or something like that, or if it's not going to go that deep, I don't know. But he's a great actor. I'm really excited he's back.
Am I on the wrong character here? Did he play the devil in Constantine?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought he did. Yeah,
Yes,
he was superb in that. Actually,
in,
very
John Wick.
good.
John Wick as well. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
No,
actor.
very
really
very
looking
good
forward
actor.
to him back in this. Yeah. So
I'm not.
excited.
I mean, I'm not.
For you to see this.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the game other than what you've talked about previously, but yeah, this sounds interesting. Yeah. I'll definitely give it a go.
It's just a cool mishmash of different, like there's a little bit of Scooby-Doo in there. It's very Friday the 13th. It's very
Lost Us.
The Descent. You know, there's like elements of all of those things in it. So like I think as a movie, it's going to be a bit of a wild ride. So yeah, I think you'll love it. I want to do the game at some point on the channel as well because it's really good. Yeah.
Good stuff. Look forward to that one.
Now
who's that?
We have gotten a little first look. So House of the Dragon ended there a couple of days ago, and there was like a show reel kind of HBO stuff.
House of the Dragon. I feel like. Sorry, I know going slightly off.
We'll do it a minute long segue. Go on.
But I mean, I've loved House of the Dragon. I really have. But I feel like that last episode, I basically watched what was it, 90 minutes or something? I watched a 90-minute trailer for season 3. That's what I feel like I watched. Do you know what I mean?
I think it was a great episode, but not a great finale. And the last even the last 10 minutes is people putting armor on and get ready for the next season. It's going to be wild. So, which is how I felt the last season ended as well. Do you know, like, oh, next time is going to be crazy. So,
and I see
things I'm playing now. There's some good character work throughout the season.
Well, they've confirmed today, haven't they, that season 4 will be the final season. Yeah, so that's gone out today.
Don't stretch it out too much. Like this, a lot of stuff happens, but like we're a bit into it already. So like but yeah, I thought it was decent. But anyway, first look at Welcome to Derry, which is the It prequel. No Pennywise kind of in it. It's not really a full trailer. It's like snippets of it throughout, mixed with other stuff. But yeah, just a first look at it. I think I'm very excited for this. I mean, Bill Skarsgård, we talked about a while ago, is coming back for it. I love it. Particularly,
I missed this.
So one I'm not fussed about.
Was this on the end of the trailer? Was this on the end of the episode of House of Dragon? Was it? 'Cause I missed this.
I think it was just in America. I think it was like an ad that's just played after it. So there's this. There's a couple other shows. One of them we're going to be talking about in a minute as well. But yeah, just a little 2-minute kind of here's what's coming up on HBO over the next year or so. So there's the snippets of this and a few other things.
It's a good look, that, isn't it? Can you do that? Can you do?
Yeah, I don't pull off as well. Yeah.
Looking forward to this. Looking forward to this series. I think it'll be really interesting. I hope they nail the It character. Do you know what I mean? I hope this doesn't diminish my love for the first It movie in any way.
The second one did enough of that, though. This is your opportunity to redeem that a little bit. You know, tell a different story, different vibes to it. 50s. You know, you can kind of call back more to that original It film, with the Tim Curry one. You know, so like, I think it'll be. Yeah, I think it's. I'm confident I'm gonna like it anyway.
Yeah. Excited to see it. Oh yeah,
of course. Within that show reel, and this has been released as a separate kind of 30-second kind of tease as well. But The Last of Us season 2 we got first look at. So, Catherine O'Hara on the top left there. So you recognize her from Beetlejuice, obviously, Home Alone, Schitt's Creek. She's great in Schitt's Creek. So she's a character that isn't in the. This is a new character. Very curious because in the context of the trailer, she's talking to Joel, and I just have no idea who this.
Oh right.
Be.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know who it is, but I'm really interested to see what role she's gonna play in it. Like she's a great actress, and seems to be a very stern character. So
do we think they're adding stuff to the mythology? They're adding their own elements to it.
Yeah. Well, she's original. They're also expanding some stuff. But just like as for a little side by side, we'll rock it through here. We see Caitlin Dever here on the bottom right as Abby. That's Isabella Merced there on the top right, and this shot here on the bottom left is very iconic kind of shot from the original trailer of the game. And you can just see here how faithful they're being. Like there's them just kind of lining up the same sequences in the video game. Pretty impressive, I think, like how visually close they're sticking to it. But yeah, there's some for me, some of the original stuff in the first season was the best stuff in it, you know. So I'm very excited about what they might add to this as well, and maybe like expand certain things that are just talked about in it. But yeah, very excited for this. Very curious how people are going to handle it, though. You know?
Just looking at that, mind, it does make us think what a lazy bugger Pedro is. Do you know what I mean? He could have grown that beard. He could have grown that
full beard. I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
He's got a bit of a scraggle of a beard, doesn't he?
I know, but it's not the same, is it? Do you know what I mean? The other guy,
he did grow his hair, didn't he? His hair is a bit longer than it was.
Just put a bit more effort in. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I also, there's been some set photos, and I don't like Ellie's hair in it because it's too long.
Jesus, how far you've fallen. Do you know what I mean?
I love Bella Ramsey.
Yeah.
I think
you've turned
amazing.
into a proper nerd. Do you know what I mean? Oh, the colour of the hair is incorrect.
It's not going to ruin the show for me. But like, why didn't you just do it?
It's not going to ruin the show for us. Well, yeah. It's not a deal breaker. Do you know what I mean? She's parted to the left instead of the right. That's it. I'm not watching it.
It's just it's too long. Like, she's gonna be an action sequence. It's gonna be flopping around and shit. So like, I just look. But anyway, be very excited. This is gonna be really cool. So yeah.
Looking for. I mean, I you know, the only downside of the first season was having to listen to you prattle on incessantly about it. But in terms of it being a good show, I loved it. Do you know what I mean? So I am looking forward to talking about it a bit more. Yeah. What we're going to do? We're going to talk about it on this channel, or are you going to go reinvent James T. Keegan?
I don't know. We'll might have the live thing, or I'd certainly like to do kind of in the style of our movie reviews, maybe on each episode or something like that.
Yeah, rather than a live, I think would be better.
Yeah, because as well as that, those live shows. Anyone who doesn't know, we did episode by episode, like 2-hour-long live streams after each episode.
Was it only 2 hours? God, it felt longer.
I think one of them was nearly 3. But I was just so meticulous. Like, I had things to say about every fucking shot. So I almost had every shot and every line of dialogue in the slides. And it was just hours of me screen grabbing and shit. So I'm just like, nah. So I think we'll have a nice episode review, maybe the day before the next episode comes out or something.
Yeah, like that would be good. That would be good. Yeah. Smashing. Looking forward to it. Big fan. Oh, fucking hell.
So I think a modern horror masterpiece.
Piece of shit. Don't say masterpiece. Piss off.
In a violent nature. So this is Shudder's new film. There's a review on the channel. It got very heated between the two of us about this film. We have polar opposite opinions. You
thought it was shit.
Didn't like it because you don't appreciate art in cinema.
Wow.
And I loved it because I do appreciate art in cinema. So yeah, they've announced the sequel already. Putting aside your hatred of it, like, what would you think this one could be the one? Like, what would you like to see it do that would make you be like, okay, I'm on board for this?
Not make it.
Okay.
Not make it.
No, but like,
no,
genuinely, right? If you could say, I think if they do this and that, you have a good film. Because I think the concept, even alone outside of like what you thought of the movie, the concept is great. I thought the concept was well done. Yeah, I think it is.
No, it's not. So the
Friday 13th from Jason's perspective,
So no, that element of the concept is great. Okay. I think the lack of soundtrack or music, the plodding nature of it just turned me off. And I know you loved it, so but that element of it made it very boring for me to watch. If they changed that and you had it be filmed more like a normal film, with just the concept of you following the killer, rather than that, would be interesting to us. I think.
I just think that's antithetical to what the movie is. Do you know what I mean?
Don't know what you said.
Like that. That's this lack of music is on purpose, and the plotting of it. I guess I understand. Like, less fucking thrown to the woods. We did that the first movie, fine. But like, I think you can change the setting. Maybe have a little bit more of the victim characters. We hear a bit more of that. Maybe I really love. There's problems with it. I won't deny that. I think the ending is dog shit, but I think it's a great movie. And I'm very excited to see what they do with a second one.
I'm concerned about your mental health. If you think this was a great, honestly, if you think this was a great movie, James, I don't.
Part of it might be because you had just shat on it relentlessly for 10 days until I saw it. So I went in expecting the worst movie of all time. And 10 minutes in, I was like, this is all right. When's it going to get bad? 20 minutes, 30 minutes in, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. And
I'd love people in the comments, if you've seen this movie, just let one know who's right here. Is it a masterpiece, as James says, or is it
I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think there's brilliance in it.
People watching this show, just rewind a couple of minutes and see how James introed this when he said a modern masterpiece.
I was just taking the piss for you. I don't think it's not a masterpiece. I think it has brilliant moments in it. I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, the end credits were pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, because at least
can we move on from this because it makes us physically sick.
Okay, all right. But
anyway,
dog shit. I'm
dog shit. This is cool. This is very. This is cool.
Awesome. So, Alien Romulus has been ramping up its marketing campaign. I love when you see them do shit like this original. But they're hiring actors effectively to hang around cities and with face hookers on them, like twitching and shit. I just think that's just such a cool idea. I wish I saw one in real life, but I wish there was one here. But like, I get the taxi one. That's just so great of an idea, isn't it?
I love it when they do things like this, and this is very, very cool. But my favorite one is when they did the Smile movie and they hired people to stand in like stadiums and stuff, staring at the camera, just grinning.
Yeah.
That was just a masterpiece.
I hope they do that again.
Oh yeah,
I'd love to see it. Yeah. I was tempted because there's in Dublin we have this thing called the Portal now, which connects to New York. And I was tempted to do the Smile, to stand there. Like I was like, that'd be a fun thing for the marketing to do.
But you broke it. Like, you broke it. You had a nice thing and you broke it, didn't you?
It's still there, but only for certain hours of the day. Like
because you flashed your boobies and things like that and upset the Americans.
No, someone held up a picture of 9/11.
And it
was an American. I know it was too far. And an American girl flashed her boobies. That wasn't Irish. Okay. We just did cocaine in front of it.
Tremendous.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that'd be a cool thing to get put to plan someone there for 12 hours and make them do the smile.
Yeah, just smile.
It'd be cool. You know, people pick up on that. So, really cool.
I mean, back to this. Excited for this movie. Can't wait for it. San Diego Comic Con, they did a panel, I think it was, for this, and they handed out facehuggers to people. Did you see that? So people in the audience were getting facehuggers, which was just brilliant. Yeah, looking forward to this one.
I have high hopes for this. I think it's gonna be special.
Me too.
Like, I genuinely think this will be the best. Oh, I mean, it's almost undoubtedly going to be the best one since Aliens. But I'm excited to see it return to the horror-ness of it. I think it's going to be very in line with that first one, but just with a modern horror spin on it, you know?
Yeah, for me, less, I know it sounds silly, but less sci-fi, more horror. Do you know what I mean? Dial up that element, I think. Because we got into kind of clones of Ripley and genetic modification. And all that kind of, I wasn't interested in that. I just wanted to see Facebook.
They should ignore that shit, I think. Yeah, just go from Aliens, this. Like, Prometheus out of that stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, that's the news elements. Comic books, I just wanted to touch on a few things. So, Blood Hunt has come to an end. Spoilers ahead, ladies and gents. Spoilers ahead. So, James, I know you haven't been keeping up to date with this, but this has been an interesting little series. Yep. Yeah, this has been quite cool. This is the what do you call it? The red band version. So it's got additional kind of blood and guts in it. We got the conclusion, which was basically not what I was expecting. Miles Morales has remained a vampire. So the event has ended, but the Spider-Man, the Miles Morales of the of the Marvel Universe, is a vampire, and he's going to stay a vampire for a while, which is interesting. They did that with Jubilee a while ago from the X-Men. The big kind of thing from this, the conclusion, again, spoilers, ladies and gents, the big conclusion to this is that it's brought back Moon Knight. So he died, he got better. So he's relaunching with a new issue 1 again. And it concludes leading into the next big event, which is Doom, Sorcerer Supreme. So Doctor Doom became the Sorcerer Supreme at the end of this book. Okay. So yeah, it was interesting. I think this was a canny little mini-series because, as Cliff on Comics would say, it didn't promise us anything going in, and it just delivered a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't earth-shattering or anything like that, which was good. I particularly enjoyed these kind of retro adverts in the back of the books, going back to kind of the old adverts that used to get in Marvel Comics. So this pretty cool one with Captain America and stuff. That's pretty cool. I like that. So yeah, good little series, well worth picking up in trade when it comes out. Butcher's Boy, issue number 3. I have been enjoying this. This is an interesting little story. First issue, I wasn't particularly taken by the art, but it's grown on us. I know our pal Fuzzy Dunlop has been reading this and enjoying it. This is basically the story of back in the past, a nutcase in a village kills people and feeds them, eats the meat from them. Flash forward to the future, these kids get kind of marooned in the town. They go to a diner, they all have burgers and things. And it's basically saying now that the meat in the burger has somehow infected them, and it's like hallucinogenics and things. And nice. I'm not quite sure at this stage what's real and what's not real. So, you know, you can see him having sex there with a corpse, and he eats her, he bites away at her and stuff. But then in the next scene, she's normal. So you don't quite know what's happening.
That's cool. That's trippy. I like that.
It is. It's a trippy book, but I am enjoying it. So again, looking forward to this. I think it concludes next issue. But it's been a good little series to read. I'd recommend that one as well. Bit of toy news. So this is from Trick or Treat Studios. This was announced a while ago, but we've now got the pre-orders for the Gremlins 2 1-to-1 scale figures. These look amazing. You've got Gizmo there. You also get it's not Spike, is it? I can't remember what the kind of the Spike version is in this. Yeah,
the second one. Brains.
No, it's not the brain one. Anyway, you get another version of that. There's about 4 or 5 different Mogwais and Gremlins that you can get. Okay. I'm tempted to pick this one up, I have to say, because I think it looks pretty good.
If they had a Rambo style one, I'd be on that shit like immediately. I want that.
But the Rambo style, James, is literally just bread bandana. You could buy this.
You could match that yourself.
You could make that
very
yourself.
Very easily. But I'd say they'll probably make one. I think it'd be just an easy repurpose. You know, just add a couple of accessories. So,
I want to see.
You have a life size. Well, you have a Gremlin, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a Gremlin. I haven't got a Gizmo. So I fancy a Gizmo to go with. The thing for me is I want a better look at what the material of the ears is like, because if that's just like rigid plastic, it looks pretty shitty. Do you know what I mean?
I'd say it's like silicone or something. It's like floppy, kind of, be my guess.
Yeah. So, I want to look at one. I'm hoping that this is out by the time we go to For the Love of Horror, and I can have a little look-see and touch, touch the Mogwai. Touch the Mogwai. Yeah. So yeah, looks pretty cool. Goosebumps figures, from Trick or Treat. They're quite nice. Not things that I'd probably pick up, but I do quite like them. They're, again, up for pre-order at the moment. Representations of some of the biggest, books from the Goosebumps series. I quite like them, actually. They look pretty well done.
It's funny because I remember loving Goosebumps, but outside of the ventriloquist doll, I can't really remember any specific villains or storylines. I remember one in a town, and it might be the one on the back right. That might have been that one, but there was like a town that was taken over by these things or something, and these kids stumble into it. But other than that, than the doll, really, I can't remember any of the characters. So I'm like,
I remember, obviously, the Jack Black movie. But I kind of think Goosebumps was a bigger thing over in the States than perhaps it was here. I don't remember reading Goosebumps as a kid.
My sister had the books, so I read all the books. Yeah. And then the show I loved, but I was like terrified of it.
I can't even remember the show.
Even that the opening theme still gives me like the heebie-jeebies,
I can't remember. Yeah, maybe I am a little bit older than you, so maybe I missed that one.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge. Careful. I like this. I've never really heard of this Syndicate Collectibles, but this is a 1-to-1 scale Poltergeist clown replica from the Poltergeist movie. This thing freaked me out as a kid when I watched Poltergeist. It really, this in the tree in the maggot scene just stuck with me for a long, long time. That for me is creepy as out. So yeah,
it's funny because it's another case of Scary Movie ruined a thing for me, because I saw the Scary Movie version first. Like, this thing's in Scary Movie, I think someone has sex with it. But then I saw Poltergeist later in life, so I'm like, it just didn't have the same impact I think it would have originally. Same with The Exorcist. But yeah, no, I think it's really cool. I love seeing these life-size replica kind of stuff. It's very cool. Even if I don't want it, I'm happy it exists.
Yeah, I wonder if its arms extend. Because, it's under the bed, isn't it? And its arms come around and stuff. That would be pretty cool.
It could be on a pulley thing, like a click.
Yeah,
thing.
but yeah.
So.
Looks cool. Now I think you're gonna. Well, no, you're not actually, because you don't like, or you're not a big fan of Ghostbusters, are you? I think this is pretty cool. Ghostbusters. Now that's a weird scale. A 2/3 scale.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
2/3 scale. So
Yeah.
60% of the size.
Yeah. Bit odd, isn't it? Bit odd.
Very weird.
This is the librarian Ghost Marquette. Scanned from the screen-used puppet as seen in Ghostbusters Frozen in Bear. Why didn't they just make it 1-to-1?
Well, exactly. If you're going to go 2/3, you're most of the way there already.
No,
You're 2/3 of the way there already. So why wouldn't you just fucking make it life size?
Weird.
Yeah, it doesn't. If someone has a Slimer, it's not going to scale right with that or whatever. So yeah, it's a very weird choice.
That said, it looks pretty good, mind. I like the look of it. Yeah, I think the detail is good. I don't know why, and I know obviously it's Ghostbusters, but the face and the mask, I get a bit of Fright Night vibe from it. Do you know what I mean? That style of makeup and whatnot. Yeah.
I dig it.
I have no idea what the price point on either of these things will be, mind. I would imagine this is a pricey piece.
Few hundred, like in the 3 to 5 range. I would guess, if not more. Is there a light up kind of feature?
No idea, mate. This was just shown at San Diego Comic-Con. That's literally all we've seen of it.
It looks like it could have lights, like see the light poking
the eyes or something.
So it looks like or just something to give it a glow. Be cool.
Yeah.
For glow in the dark, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, pretty cool. Looks a bit like my wife when I wake her up. Yeah, it's cool. I like that. Trailers, James. I'm still not excited by this.
Hellboy. I'm not either. And I kind of want to like it because I'm like, I like the idea of a basic spooky Hellboy movie, but it's just not. It's not. The spooky stuff looks cool. Some of it looks cool, but it's just not clicking with me. I just don't take him seriously when I see him on screen. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if this is of a different actor or the color grading in the movie is a bit weird. Like he doesn't look quite red enough. Like it's.
I don't know. It's not exciting. I kind of feel like I've had my favorite Hellboy, which we're going to cover over on my other channel, in Hellboy 2, Golden Army. I really enjoyed that one, and nothing's really measured up since. This trailer does note for us. I'll absolutely still see it.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. It's not a one I'm excited for. Put it that way.
I still think it could surprise us. I think you could go see it and it's actually really good. Like it just might be one of those movies that doesn't trailer well, but it's gonna go drastically the one way or another. I feel.
Yeah. Oh God.
So we got Terrifier trailer. He's killing people as Santa. Super gory. It's just Terrifier. I just don't care for this franchise, really, and it's annoying that we have to keep talking about it. What do you think of the trailer?
Right. So again, I feel unfair because I've not watched any of the Terrifier movies or the stuff that's come before.
I've only seen the first.
I need to at some point, I guess, just to say we've seen them. We've talked a lot, haven't we, about the different kind of flavors of horror and what we're like. This just isn't my flavor of horror, the kind of the over the topness of it. So I don't know. I know some people will love this. The trailer looked interesting. It looked very kinetic. I think for me, I'm not gonna like this film because I think they're now of the mindset that they sell tickets by it being as gory as it possibly can be.
Yep.
So they go out of the way to be as vile and as gross and as gory as they can, and that's just not for me.
Vile is a great choice of word, I think, for it. It's just incredible. It's very cruel, very unnecessarily mean to the characters. When they're often people that haven't done anything, and there's not really any. It's sort of like, at least from the first one, it's humorless outside of like. Unless you find Art funny, and I think our Art is an interesting character, but it just doesn't. I don't have a love for him really, like other.
You're gonna make us
I've not
watch
seen
it,
the second one.
you?
The second one we have to watch it for when this comes out. We're doing both of them, but I just don't. Yeah, I don't have a love for it. But like I haven't seen the second one, and the first one's barely a movie, really.
Yeah.
Like it's just a string, a chain of scenes together. So the second one I know has like some cool lore. People love the characters in it and stuff. So like I'll reserve judgment on the whole franchise until then.
It
But I'm
it
just
doesn't
like,
excite us. Put it that way. It doesn't excite us.
yeah.
But
I'm
we'll
also
see.
just
We'll
like
see.
if they go murdering a kid in it like gruesomely, it's in bad taste to me, and I'm not really a fan of
I
that.
suspect that's where it's going because the director,
What else could
whoever
it?
said
What else
it's
could
the
it
most
be? I
horrendous
mean,
thing on film.
he saws people in half, like from the genitals, and did some like pokes people's eyes out and stuff. Like what could be so shocking that like unless it's like a line like that hasn't been crossed, maybe So we'll see.
Yeah.
Now I just got back from this. So you saw this a couple months ago.
Yes.
And did a video on the channel and everything. So I just got back from this today. I said literally a couple hours ago. Finished race home to do the show. Do you want to just relay your thoughts on it first before I go?
I really enjoyed it. I thought in my theatre the atmosphere was great. There were some genuine jump scares for me, particularly the music. The sudden burst of music and stuff like that was very cool, and I enjoyed the ghost story element of it. I did work it out, mind, quite near the start of it. I remember nudging my daughter and saying, and giving away a twist. We'll not say the twist on here for people who are going to go and see it.
Maybe I actually would like to do when you're back a spoiler.
Yeah,
on this,
do a spoiler one.
Thoughts.
But yeah, so and I guess that's a bit of a downside for being people like me and you who watch a lot of this stuff, because you do get quite good at guessing, oh, this is going to be a twist or a turn at some point. And I wish I didn't do that. Do you know what I mean? Because the twist came as a complete surprise to my mother and my wife to a point, and I kind of wish I'd had that experience. But overall, I thought it was very, very good, an enjoyable trip to the theatre.
Okay, I think it was a very good play. So I like the story. I think all the actors were. I don't know if you have the same cast of actors as I did.
Probably not, because it changes, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I thought it was very funny. There was some really great lines. I think particularly the kind of Essex guy. If he's an Essex guy in yours, the kind of the boyfriend that comes over to the house was very funny. I think the production is great. Like the sound effects and stuff is really cool. There's a bit with fire that was really cool. I thought as I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
But I think as a horror experience, I was a little bit let down. It wasn't quite as scary. It felt like to me, like after the first half, it's like, okay, it's all set up. Let's have it. It's going to kick off now. And I didn't really feel like it kicked off in the way I want. Like I was hoping it would be, things would be like a Paranormal Activity sort of, where bits are happening and then it just ramps it up and up and up as it goes. And this doesn't really have that. I felt like a bit anticlimactic at the end. The twist I didn't see coming because I don't think it really sets it up. And I now, to be fair, I have gone back and thought about moments and gone, oh, that's why that's that, and that's why that's that. But I think you really need to get on. It's a big wall you have to get on board to go along with that twist. And I just it didn't really work for me. And it's also right at the very end, like it's literally the last 30 seconds. It gets revealed and then it's over. So, I just kind of
Interesting, isn't it? Because I hear what you're saying, but I didn't think of this as a horror. I think of this as a ghost story, a traditional ghost story.
And it is a story about ghosts, and a lot of it is the discussion of what would ghosts be like and that kind of thing. It's spooky themed, definitely. But I think a lot of the jumps, like there's some, whenever a scene, this is almost a spoiler, but like whenever a scene ends, there's kind of a jump scare, like a flash of lightning or foxes or something like that, like a fake out jump scare. And that just felt really cheap after. Like it was fun the first couple of times, but I was just sort of like, I was waiting for like a really scary thing to happen on screen. And I didn't really get that. And I felt like the way this has been promoted, that was sort of what it was promising. So I think it is a great play, honestly. Like great characters, really cool story, interesting. But just don't go in expecting like you're going to be really scared, because that's not really what it is.
I mean, I guess it comes back to the different flavors of horror, doesn't it? Because there were scenes on this where I literally felt myself go cold, and I felt the hairs on my arms go up and things like that, because it's so atmospheric.
I didn't really get that. I didn't get that at all, really. I didn't really jump at anything in it at all. I never found it scary or particularly tense. I think the opening was tense.
But you liked in Violent Nature. Do you know what I mean? So
So what's my fucking
I think
opinion matter?
I think we've worked out our kind of levels of horror. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? So, yeah.
Okay.
No, I hear what you're saying.
I would recommend people check it out because it's very good. It is quite good.
In honesty, there were scenes where it was like, come on, something happened now. You know, move on a little bit. It slowed down a bit. I disagree with your mind about the. It's hard to not spoil it, isn't it? I disagree with you about the twist because once you kind of get keyed into that, it's so obvious and it's so well played. And there are certain again, we can't say it on here.
No,
but there are
certain... I did think back at moments trying to poke holes in it, and then I was like, oh yeah, this guy said this thing, and that makes that sense with that, and
even down to things like lights and stuff like that, and it's very clever. It is very clever.
Well, that I didn't know. So we'll talk about it for a minute afterwards. It'd be cool to do a spoiler. I think we'd have a fun chat about it. Full spoilers for people that have seen it.
But the thing, it's interesting, isn't it? The different flavors of horror, because this, I think, is the kind of horror that I enjoy more than a hack slash cutting people up. You know what I mean?
I wasn't expecting that either, but there was no like, physical.
No horror, like big scary kind of.
Yeah, there's not really much horror. It's more of a thriller, really. Like
it's a ghost story. Like I say, it's a traditional ghost story for me. It's an interesting one. It is worth a watch, I think.
I will say I enjoyed it. Just I was left a little bit wanting by the end, but it's still worth seeing.
I'm so pleased, mind. I am so pleased that, and I'm assuming it's the same for you, that Cheryl Cole was in this for a while. I couldn't have watched it with Cheryl Cole. No, I couldn't have watched Cheryl Cole.
No, that would have been hard to take seriously. So the one I saw, Shona
accent.
Shona McGarty is from EastEnders. And then Laura Whitmore, she was an MTV host and she hosts Love Island and stuff. So I was only really familiar with her. I've seen Shona McGarty before, but I know who Laura Whitmore is. But it was also cool because I think it's the first time I've like went into a thing knowing someone that was on the stage. You know, people go see fucking like Daniel Radcliffe starring in some play or something like that. This is my first experience of like, I know this person, and they're up on
Tom
the stage
Holland in London at the moment, isn't he? Tom Holland doing Romeo and Juliet.
Have to do one of them sometime. It'll be fun. But yeah, I it's good fun. Like, check it out. It's cool. Just like it's, temper expectations of how scary it is or how off the wall it gets in terms of its, the scariness of it.
Good stuff. Don't know what this is. I haven't seen this.
So I know you haven't. I just want to talk about this. So my good friend Jeff was over in his house a few nights, and we were there looking for a movie, and he stuck this on. So this is a French horror film from 2004, I think. It's directed by, I think, Andre Aja, who went on to do Crawl. He's done a few
I like that.
This is one of his earliest movies. I love that movie. And within the first 2 minutes, I knew I wasn't going to like this. And Jeff just refused to turn it off and made us sit and watch 90 minutes of it. And I think there's a 20-minute gap in the middle of it that I enjoyed, and the rest of it is dog shit. So it's a French movie, but it's about these two friends, and they go visit one of their houses, and this killer comes in, murders the whole family. It's all very Jason-y kind of sequence. And then he kidnaps the friend, and the girl tries to go get the friend. So it's kind of a cat and mouse kind of thing. But it has, I feel very similar about it. It's funny because I actually said it to, because I want to see 222 with Jeff, and I said it to him then that I felt there's a twist in this, and I felt very much the same about this that I did with 222, where I'm like, you couldn't have predicted that. I think it's more egregious in this now that I've thought about 222 a bit more. But like, there's a twist in it that's so bonkers. Like, it's just stupid. When as soon as it happened, I was like, that's fucking ridiculous. And like, how are you, you can't take it seriously anymore after that. And it was just I would want to put this on I'll Be Right Back for us to watch, but I don't want to watch it again, to be honest. It's an interesting.
Don't make us watch more crap films, man. If it's crap, don't make us watch it.
They're the fun ones to talk about, though, Pete.
But they're not.
We can't watch great movies all the time. You know what I mean?
I'm not watching this. I'm putting my foot down. I'm not watching this.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll stick on. Now you make me stick on the list. Now we'll watch it at some point, I'm sure. But
moving on.
It's just
moving on from this cack. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Shit choice.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Let's play a game.
Okay. End topic. We'll wrap through this because I just thought this was. This is just literally something I saw. Have you seen these slides yet? Have you seen the images?
No, I knew.
Okay.
I should be seeing it. So
I saw these images on Instagram or Facebook, and it made us chuckle. And I just thought, oh, that's quite interesting. We've had lots of movies based on board games. So we've had Clue or Cluedo over here. We've had Battleship and all that kind of stuff. And they've done a lot of posters for board games turned into horrors. And some of them are just really interesting. And I thought, do you know what? Some of these would be really, really cool. So Shoots and Ladders is obviously kind of a snakes and ladders kind of thing. I thought that
These look like real movie posters. As
I
well.
know.
What do you think?
The Operation one, I think. Could you imagine that as a horror? You know,
Someone having their body parts. I'm sure
the body parts being removed.
I'm sure there's a movie of somebody who's just gradually getting still shit removed from them. Yeah.
Uno.
That'd be fucked up.
Feels
I
a bit
just
like
love
tarot.
Uno's one of my favorite games. So like I just love the idea of like very tarot-y, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Tarot. That's not a good movie. Again, you made
do
us
you
watch that
do
shit.
you think at the end it's like you do a flip reverse kind of thing?
Yeah.
Some people don't
Pick
count.
up
Some people don't
five.
count that. Do you know the official
Yeah.
rules of Uno is you can't like +2 or +2 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's
So they
stupid.
was it last year they came out and said you couldn't do it or something? Yeah.
I had such an argument with. I've had so many arguments with people about it. Where they're like,
That doesn't sound like you.
Fuck off.
Doesn't sound like you.
I know I'm usually very temperamental, but yeah, I was furious. I was like trying to put a +4 or +4, and they're like, "No, you could do that." I'm like, "What do you mean? Of course you can." Yeah,
But I think they look pretty cool.
it's pretty cool.
Guess Who?
Guess Who?
I thought was good. Yeah.
Guess
Doom-
Who? Guess Who sounds like it could be a movie though. Like that's one that I think they could make. You can do whatever with it. It's just a mystery kind of thing, isn't it? What's Don't Wake Daddy?
I'm not sure. I don't think I've played that game. I don't think I've
Not
played
sure
that
what
one.
that is. Mousetrap.
Mousetrap would be very cool.
Yeah.
That's got a bit of a Saw kind of feel to it, I think. Do you know what I mean? In
not-
terms
not
of
the same
traps
as
and
that
things.
one.
The last one, but I absolutely adore. The last one I absolutely adore. Hungry Hippos.
I love them.
I think that
I
could
want
be
that fucking poster, man.
amazing. I mean, it's an amazing
Is
poster,
there
isn't it?
because aren't hippos like actually the most dangerous animal in the world?
Hippos are
Like,
incredibly aggressive and
yeah,
violent.
they kill everybody. Like
Yeah, because the jaw strength and everything is horrendous.
yeah, they're so fast and they swim and everything. Like a hippo horror movie, I think is actually quite a good idea. But I love that poster. I love just like the Jaws-ness of it. I think that's hilarious. Yeah.
It did get us
I'll watch
thinking
that.
to all the other board games that are out there, and if there's any that jump out at you. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on them, but the one that jumped straight out to me that we've kind of had last year, but I thought Jenga. You know, you could have some kind. What was that movie that was on Netflix and everybody went mad about it, where the Australians were stuck up the kind of the mast thing or something? Remember that one?
Fuck. I was talking about it like 2 days ago. The
Fall
climb
or something?
The climb or the fall. The fall.
Climb,
That's it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Two girls on top of the antenna and they can't get off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you could have something like that with Jenga. I think that would be really interesting.
Where it's like a giant thing and it's like people are on top and if you fuck it up they die or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Any that
name
jump
that
out
many
at you?
I can't name that many board games, so that's the unfortunate thing. Like, there's a game I play. I don't know if it's a thing here, but I've ever played it in Switzerland. It's called Mysterium. So it's like a murder mystery. You're all kind of psychic detectives. It's like very kind of like Poirot-y kind of thing.
Right.
Like
Bit like Cluedo.
Yeah, sort of. Theme wise, but it's like there's like different suspects and things, and you have to choose who you have to solve things. And someone's like a game master, so it's almost like a Dungeons and Dragons-y kind of ness to it. But it's very cool. I like the world and the art style and stuff. So that'd be a cool movie. I can see that.
I tell you a game we need to try and get a copy of. We need to try and get on eBay and see if we can buy a version and invite some friends to stream with. We've talked about it before, but Atmosphere. I'd love to do a live show where we're playing Atmosphere live.
Yeah,
I think that could be superb. Oh, it's amazing, absolutely amazing.
There was I don't know if I forgot to share it with you. There was like an escape game, like an online escape game thing. I thought I sent you it anyway, but it was like 20 quid and you can do it. You do it over Zoom or over StreamYard.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
like that'd be a
those.
fun thing to record with all of us doing it together. Like it was a horror themed one anyway. I'll have to look it up again. But that'd be really a fun activity. I think, as well.
Okay, James. Ladies and gents in the chat, let us know in the comments if there are any games that you would like to see made into a horror-based movie. If there's any that jump out at you.
I mean, Game of Life, because life is a horror story, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Certainly is for some people, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's we're whack. Anything you want to add before we move on, James, to talk about what else is on the channel?
No, I think we've covered everything.
Okay, so our next I'll be right back is this little beauty.
It's on Alien. Just to celebrate Alien Romulus coming out. So I'm currently editing that. That should be this is out Friday, so I'll have that out by Monday, I would think. I'm off on the
Good
weekend.
stuff. Interesting discussion, that one. Interesting discussion. I'll be interested to see what people think of it.
Yeah, it's always fun to talk about like the genesis of big franchises as well.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a couple of them. This is a really interesting one. I don't know if we've done a sci-fi kind of thing before either. So that was really fun element to talk about as well.
And then we've got this. This is our interview with Peter. Great chat. It's a long video, that one. So it's a one that I think is easy to watch. Sorry, is easy to listen to, perhaps. So you don't have to watch necessarily the video.
Yeah.
You can listen to it in pod format.
It's mostly Peter talking. It's mostly Peter's face.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's not much visual stimulation really. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a handsome man, I suppose. So if you want to look at him,
Yeah.
But it's what a gentleman. What a fun conversation. Just very fascinating. Just the insight of the horror industry in the 90s, from the late 90s, and kind of the genesis of that, and the people he's worked with and talking about.
He's a guy. I mean, he was pretty loose-lipped when he was talking to it, but he's a guy that you want to get down the pub and get a few drinks in just to start spilling the beans.
Yeah. Absolutely. Get the real gossip. Yeah.
Because he cannot hold his tongue either. He cannot hold his tongue. After we stopped, I'm not going to say what, but after we stopped rolling, he was like telling us some things that he shouldn't have been telling us. So yes, it's a nice bloke. A very nice bloke. And then on the channel we've got a whole host of different things for you to go and check out. We've got obviously our series of I'll Be Right Back, our retrospective reviews of movies, so please go and have a look at them. And we've got our regular reviews of current horror movies that are out at the cinema, plus we're live shows. So lots going on the channel. We're doing really well. I think we're very near to 400 subs now, I think, from memory.
Just about 5 or 6 away. So
yeah, just shy of 400. So please do promote it, spread the word. Tell your friends about it.
Leave a like.
We appreciate your support. Yeah. So yeah, lots of content. Okie dokie. James. Anything you want to say before we go?
Well, this is a particularly sad time that I'm going to say this. But it's not Halloween, but I still think everyone's entitled to one good scare.
Everyone's entitled.